Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Today. Another double-headed day, big day in the IPL now in the context of that those two spots up for grabs for the playoffs, right? Royal Challengers Bangalore now taking off Punjab Kings, and of course, late in the evening you'll have Kolkata Knight Riders taking on Sunrisers Hyderabad, who are already out of the race for a spot in the playoffs. Now, why are these games important? Royal Challengers Bangalore, of course, need just one win of the remaining few games to seal that playoffs berth. Punjab Kings are in with a chance. Even if they win their remaining three matches, get to 14 points, they're still not assured of it. But of course, a boost in the net run rate can do them a world of good. They lose one from here, things are going to get complicated. For the Kolkata Knight Riders, they missed out on playoff qualifications for the last two seasons. They're in a good position this season, but they have their own problems. No word yet on when Andre Russell could come back. Lockie Ferguson, and then, of course, this form around Owen Morgan's form has been a massive cause for concern. Will Shakib Al Hassan play tonight? Will the Sunrisers Hyderabad be able to be able to play a bit of a party pooper for the Knight Riders? I have with me, of course, the four super fans then tonight. Big games, like I said. Clinton for Punjab, Samruddh for Samruddh for the Sunrisers Hyderabad, Mufaddal for Bangalore, of course, and Abhishek for the Knight Riders. I'll start with Clinton, though. Punjab, like Rajasthan Royals, have struggled to find that combination going. Now, with Chris Gale leaving the bubble to stay fresh for the World Cup, they have moved the top order batsman one position up. And now, do you think they've finally starting to get that mix right? They're starting to get that 11 right in their quest to stay in the hunts for the playoffs. Clint?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Uh, Chris Gale leaving the bubble was, of course, very unfortunate. But we saw how Nicholas Pooran batted at three the other day. Yes, it was a very short innings, but he looked in good flow, and so did Aiden Markram. And then Shah Rukh Khan coming in and finishing the innings that day was a really good plus point for us going forward. But I think Fabian Allen was limping when he came to bat. So I think he will be mostly ruled out of today's game. So we again will have to tinker with our combination once again.
But do you think Harpreet Brar could be, he could be in the reckoning as well? The last time these two teams played in Ahmedabad, we all remember what he did. Picked up Kohli, Maxwell, De Villiers. Uh,
Of course.
Maybe who knows, right? And this Charger has seen that for spinners. It's from slow bowlers have held sway so far. Clinton.
Absolutely, he has to play today. He has to be in the playing 11. I think it will be at Deepak Huda's expense, and instead of Fabian Allen, they may get in someone like a
Yeah.
Enriquez. So, and you can also see Chris Jordan coming in today ahead of Nathan Ellis. So these are the three
Right.
possible changes that we
Right.
could make today.
Mufa, it's the same for Bangalore. Of course, they're in a much better position than the teams wrangling for those playoffs. One victory is all that they need, but they have been known to stutter and stumble in that last segment somehow. Last time they've lost five matches, but still made it to the qualification because made it to the playoffs because they were so good in the first half. This time they were very good in the first half. It's been a mixed bag, but Kona Bharat's infusion in the top three has really made a difference. You're happy, comfortable with the Bangalore setup?
Yeah, absolutely. They have done a pretty good job in the UAE as well. At some point after four games, it was a bit worrying that they are not firing and all, but they catch up really well. So they are just a win away from securing a place in the playoffs. So it should be an easy game for them.
Hmm.
They are playing three more games now, so they should reach now.
Right. Abhishek, I'll start off with a question from a viewer right away saying any KKR fan of course, Abhishek is there with us. If so, can you ask him how badly do they want Morgan to be fined again so that he can't play? Do you and also do you see Shakib Al Hassan in that setup? Because this is going to be a big game for the Knight Riders. They are now in a very delicate position, but a couple of victories here can set things right. They're taking on the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and of course they have Rajasthan Royals to take on. And Rajasthan Royals looked formidable last night against the Super Kings. Abhishek.
Yes, on current form, definitely Evan Morgan should be dropped. But now you have to also consider the fact that it is now the business end of the tournament, and you need your main players and experienced players to stand up and perform for the team. So I think Morgan should be retained because I have seen the McCallum's interview yesterday. he was saying that we need Morgan, and also I think Shakib Al Hasan would definitely come in place of Team Saifat. I didn't understand the change why they made yesterday, last game, but they were playing with 4.5 bowlers technically because Venkatesh Iyer is not your fifth bowler, to be honest. So I think Shakib Al Hasan has to play today if KKR has to win the game.
Yeah, and Tim Seifert batting that low as he did. It was in fact Shakib Al Hasan, and Makalam also said he looks at Shakib as a top three batsman. He may not be able to slot him in top three, but Shakib anywhere, especially in a T20 game, could be pretty dangerous. Samrud, for you, the Sunrisers Hyderabad, the campaign is over, but now what you can do is spoil the party for a couple of teams, and starting with the Kolkata Knight Riders. You'd love to do that because that's what you did the last time around as well. Of course, this time the situation is a little different. The Knight Riders are in a much better position, and Sunrisers have nothing but pride to play for.
Yes, I think it's just been one that sort of a season with where nothing has gone right for us. You can compare to what CSK had last time around because you don't expect such seasons from a top team like Sunrisers Hyderabad. But having said that, we are so much emotionally attached to David Warner. Axing of David Warner is like an heartbreaking moment for us. But having said that, we have 3 games on our hand. Give chance to youngsters, guys like Abdul Samad and Abhishek Sharma. They have a great chance to play well for the team, and hopefully we can play spoiled sport for all the 3 opponents that we are playing, and we can start off by winning against KKR today.
Yeah, David Warner. I mean, since you mentioned David Warner, his situation around the Sunrisers Hyderabad team continues to remain one of the biggest enigmas of this season of the Indian Premier League. Of course, at some point in time, we hope to be able to hear more from David Warner. But Clinton also coming to the first game of the day. Now, this is look at the way the points table is scheduled. It's looking like right now. CSK, DC, of course, in safe hands. RCB, they need to win tonight to get through, so they hope to get the better of Punjab. KKR, Punjab, Rajasthan Royals, Mumbai Indians, all on 10 points from 12 matches. KKR, of course, the team with the best net run rate. But Punjab, if they are to win, they need to solidify. They need to really strengthen that net run rate. Do you hope as a fan from the outside? We want to see probably some more explosive firepower up in the top. KL Rahul, of course, he's batted a lot more conventionally in the IPL than he does for India because he's a little worried about the middle order. Would want him to throw caution to the wind and just go for it tonight.
That is very, very tricky, even as a fan while watching the last game. I could understand why KL was playing that way. It was simply because the middle order has always thrown away games after the match was really well set up by the openers. So I would prefer the other batsman going for it and KL holding his wicket till about the 15th over and then taking it from there. I know I may sound a bit stupid, but when he plays for India, he plays with the likes of Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, and a good middle order to follow. But when you're playing for your franchise, you need to see what suits your team and play accordingly. And KL was criticized heavily, even on social media, for his slow knock that day. But we take 2 points any day rather than someone batting with a strike rate of 140 and then losing the match.
No, it's not a bad point at all. In fact, obviously that's the thing with KL Rahul. When he plays with India, he's playing alongside Rohit Sharma, there's Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Ravindra Jadeja, all these batsmen to come after him. But the Punjab middle order has been a bit dodgy. That is where Bangalore can also obviously come in and exploit the situation. Bangalore, on the other hand, Mufa, this combination is looking really good. Like we discussed, Kona Bharat as well. Shabaz's inclusion has done wonders. But is this team now also looking like it's emotionally playing for Virat Kohli? We know we've discussed this. You're heading into the business end of the tournament. This is as a fan, is it slightly emotional for you, or does it not matter at the end of the day as long as Virat Kohli comes to playing for RCB for the rest of his IPL career?
No, it's bit of emotional indeed it is because Virat has been captaining RCB for the last 9 years, and he did a very good job in that. We did qualify for a few seasons, but this season we will be qualifying for him, and we will be giving all for him because he's been an RCB star from his since 2008. So it's a bit of an emotion going around.
Right. Nostradamus is in fact asking me who do you think will win tonight. I'm not going to take that punt with 4 fans present here. Obviously, Clinton will go for Punjab, Samruddh for Sunrisers, Mufa for Bangalore, and Abhishek for Calcutta. So that is not a question I'm going to answer tonight. I mean, this is going to be pretty intense as it is, because we're headed now into the last week of the league games. Abhishek, by the way, he's got a couple of questions which I'll bring to you as well. We'll try to figure out if there are any fan questions. We can, in fact, some Mufa, some RCB supporters are saying that RCB should look to probably play Chamira today. Your thoughts?
Yes, indeed. Ghaton did a good job, but experience of Chamira will be good enough tonight, today, because he hasn't played yet the IPL, and he deserves a chance because he's been a good form. We have seen that in previous Sri Lankan series he did very well, so he should get a chance at least today.
Right. Okay then. But Abhishek, coming to the Knight Riders team, this is what is it that goes wrong? Do you think for them is in the business? And last 2 seasons, I think what they finished fifth, they failed to qualify. Do you see some of those problems recurring? Is it something to do with the management? Is it something to do with the combination that they always looking to try out the batting positions? What is it that goes wrong? So drastically wrong for them towards the end of the league stages.
See, there is a fault in combination, because if you look at the last 2 seasons, our net run rate was very less, but our wins was okay. This time our wins are less, but our net run rate is very good. So you need more wins and also a positive net run rate to qualify. And also KKR has taken some harsh decisions. If you see in the CSK game, 19th over was bowled by Prasidh Krishna. In the Delhi game, KKR was a batsman shot. In the last game against Punjab, we were a bowler shot. And this kind of mistakes can definitely cost you the game anytime. So I think they should go for a good all-rounder, because under Russell there is no substitution. But I think Shakibul Hasan can be the man today, because Jason Roy will be playing for SRH. So he can be a perfect matchup for Jason Roy, because earlier on I think the spinners will definitely try to bowl and bowl him out. And if we are able to do that, then we can definitely win the game, because Jason Roy poses that threat, I think, for SRH. And also SRH have nothing to lose, and we have everything to lose. So that's the key today. If we have to play the correct, right combination, and also we need to execute our plans better than the last few games.
SRH will be able to exploit those weaknesses. There are clearly a lot of chinks in the armor for the Knight Riders. You think you'd want to go out on a high after such a disappointing season? What are the weaknesses you see on the Knight Rider side?
Well, definitely the first weakness I see is the form of Owen Morgan. I think that's an area we would like to exploit, and probably we have one of the best T20 bowlers in Rashid Khan. And I also want to see a second spinner playing today for Sunrisers in the form of Jagdish Suchit. So if we can exploit that area, and of course there's no under wrestle coming in there, and they're a finisher shot, the KKR. When there's no under wrestle, there's a finisher shot, and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar also is coming into his own towards the back end of the inning. So if we can exploit this weakness, I think we can surely come on top.
Okay, Rahul Reddy has a question. Samruddh, you take this because it's around Sunrisers Hyderabad. He's saying SRH should take a leaf out of CSK's book. They did not drop Raina even if he hasn't performed well over the last 3 seasons. More specifically this season, David Warner is SRH and IPL is an SRH and IPL legend. Should have treated him well. As a fan, how do you see the way he has been treated? Down from captaincy, dropped from the squad, and now he's not even allowed to come to the ground.
Well, I think as an SRH fan, I'll tell you, there hasn't been one season where David Warner has scored less than 500 runs. If you go back to the year 2014 when he joined the franchise, ever since then he hasn't scored less than 500 runs for us in any season. He has been that legend for us at the top of the order, and one season he does not fare. Actually, it's a mistake of a middle order, because Sunrisers Hyderabad technically have never had a strong middle order since the last 5 to 6 years. It's just because of the top order heavy batting and the strong middle bowling we have. That's the reason why we were able to qualify for the playoffs in the last 6 years. Now, just one season that David Warner is not playing well, that the Sunrisers team management have taken the bold decision of dropping him. I'll share a stat with you guys. David Warner has scored more runs than Kane Williamson in 2021 for us. And Kane Williamson also hasn't done well for us. So it's a very harsh decision that they have taken on David Warner to accept. As a David Warner fan, we support the franchise because of David Warner. So it's a very, very harsh decision, and very disappointed as a Sunrisers fan.
Clinton, it is relatively easier for Bangalore. They just one win away from qualification. KKR would ideally want to win those two matches, and they will be there in the qualification. They're going to really strengthen the chances because of the net run rate. Explain to us Punjab scenario, right? Even with 14 points, they're not going to be assured. But even if they lose one of those remaining between RCB and CSK, they still have a chance. How do you see that from an equation point of view? Explain it for us, please.
Uh, Basically, they should just take one game at a time. They should try to win today's game, win it. Just try to win it, even if it's at the last ball. Simply because if you try to push for net run rate, you end up putting pressure on yourselves. And with the fragile middle order that Punjab already has, it is like attempting suicide. Because we saw it in the Rajasthan game, wherein the commentators were talking about net run rate, and even I, for a moment, thought about net run rate, and then we lost the game. So they should look to just get to 14 points and then hope that KKR lose one game, and Mumbai Rajasthan will be a knockout game anyway because both of them are on 10. So we just need to get to 14 and not look to increase the net run rate. At least for me, we should just get those 4 points from those two games and just hope for the best and hope that KKR and Mumbai lose a game each.
Right. For Bangalore, in fact, Mufa, of course, they're one win away from qualification for the playoffs. But if they win their remaining three games, they can also challenge CSK and DC for a place in top two. Who are they playing next? Let's see. They're of course taking on Punjab tonight. Then they have what Sunrisers Hyderabad on Wednesday. Who else is remaining? And Delhi Capitals. That game is going to be pretty crucial as well. Do you see this team primed for a position in the top two? Because they have not ever won an IPL title. They qualified for the final in 2016. From everything that has taken place in the last couple of games, do you see Bangalore also making a push in the top two? Because the combination is working really well for them.
Yes, they can. They will take one gate at a time. First, they will try to qualify. Then, in the remaining two games against SRH, it can be easy. But against Delhi Capital, it will be hard for them to win. But they will certainly look for the top two position because top two will guarantee them a straight win from in the qualifiers to a final. And even if they lose, they will get a one chance. So probably they will look for top two position after tonight's win.
Yeah, no, there is a good chance that RCB might even end up doing that. Abhishek, a couple of fan questions for you. Rahul Reddy is asking one question for Abhishek. Why is Ben Cutting not considered if Russell is not fit? Wasn't he a line for line backup buy for Russell's strange selection? And also, Kamlesh Acharya is asking two questions together. Every team trying to use informed players. Why is Owen Morgan not taking rest? I think next season no one will rope Morgan in if KKR do not qualify due to his poor reason. Abhishek, those two questions for you.
Okay, yeah. Firstly, I would agree with that. Cutting is definitely a like for like displacement for Russell. But I don't know what the KKR management is thinking. They are playing with 4.5 bowlers. They are thinking Venkatesh Iyer will do the job because he's a confidence bowler. If he bowls one or two good overs, then you can give it the third. Or maybe if he bowls well, you can win the fourth. But he's not a fifth bowler for us. So I think Cutting is a fair option. But I do feel that the pitches are turning a lot. So I think Shakibul Hassan is definitely the man we need. And for Morgan, if I feel that Morgan should go for the finishing role because he's not been able to do well in the middle order. And since Russell is not in the side, I think Shakib can bat at 5 and Morgan can finish the game along with Karthik if needed.
Some of the very strategic questions for you. Sunil Narayan. He has obviously been in great form in this IPL. He's always a threat. He's always a danger, but specifically against the Sunrisers. Obviously, Riddhiman Saha has been able to take him on well, but that middle order is going to be extremely exposed against Sunil Narayan if you don't get a good start from Roy and Saha, and then Williamson doesn't kick off again tonight. That is going to be a threat for you as far as you see it.
Definitely, I think the role of Kane Williamson in today's games will be much more higher when compared to other games. And even Varun Chakravarti. Traditionally, Sunrisers Hyderabad do tend to struggle against spin ballers in those middle overs. So I think the role of Kane Williamson in today's game will be even more important when compared to other games. And like I said, it's a great opportunity for youngsters. Facing the topmost bowler in those middle overs, it will be a great challenge for them. The likes of Abdul Samad, Abhishek Sharma might be a great challenge. And if they can play well against Sunil Narayan, there's a mega option coming up. There are a lot many teams who will be wanting those new youngsters into the team. So if they play well against Sunil Narayan, and it's a great chance for them to get picked for the next auction.
Clinton, we often talk of matchups, we talk of face-off, head-to-head results. Um, I'm sure it works with players. I've spoken to a few of them. They tell me that it sometimes works in terms of what you've done earlier in the season. Does it as a fan also? Does it sometimes work in your mind? Look, this is what we did to Bangalore the last time, albeit different conditions, different setup. But you had that big win over the Royal Challengers. So you have reason to be much more confident. Yes, Bangalore are in tremendous form, one win away from qualification, but you have reason to believe that you can take them on again. This is going to be another cakewalk for you.
Well, absolutely. Even in 2020, when we were doing really poorly, we had that great game against Bangalore wherein KL scored a unbeaten 132. Then we ended our five-match losing streak against Bangalore back in 2020, wherein Nicholas Pooran hit that six of the last ball. And then back again in 2021, in the month of April, we again beat Bangalore, and Harpreet Brar was a standout performer. And KL Rahul is 284 runs not out against RCB in the last three matches. So it's a good matchup, an interesting one. But again, we have to keep our fingers crossed because the law of averages should not catch up with us.
The reason before sometimes why the Punjab players come up so strongly against Bangalore is they know there is a sense of familiarity. Also, Mufa, Bangalore will have a lot to Punjab have a lot to thank Bangalore for. KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, obviously Chris Gayle, not the player that he used to be. He's left the bubble, but especially Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul at the top. Imagine they were with Bangalore, could not retain him, did not want to retain these two for some reason. And look at the two go now, and KL Rahul's record against Bangalore. That must hurt somewhere.
Yeah, it's it's bit difficult to see that record because Rahul was in our side in 2016 as well. We lost that final. Since then, he moved then to Punjab in 2018, and last year he's an unbeaten since last year. So it's bit difficult to see him score runs against us, but. He's been a class player, so we can't do anything. We will try our best to dismiss him early, but he's a class apart.
Okay, Rahul Reddy is also asking Samrud. I will take this to you because this is in relation to both SRH and Bangalore. Rahul Reddy is asking RCB can benefit from David Warner's axing from SRH. RCB need a captain badly next season. Do you see? Obviously, it doesn't look like Warner is going to play for SRH anymore. But what a tragedy it would be for an SRH fan to see if David Warner goes on to lead Bangalore from after just one bad season. One bad season, he could be in some other team.
Well, it's funny, when some player doesn't play well for the team, everybody says that he goes to RCB to play with certain ability. But I don't think David Warner will go for RCB because certainly there are two new teams coming up, and they would need a captain over there with a lot of budget in their banks. I think definitely a new team would be going for David Warner. But having said that, as an SRH fan, emotionally we would want Warner to continue playing for us. Hopefully, I think the problem has been Trevor Bayliss. Ever since he came into the franchise last year, all these problems have been coming up. Tom Moody as a coach was brilliant for us. So hopefully, the team management can get it right, and Warner can still continue playing for Sunrisers.
Right. Abhishek, do you have a wrap for us heading into this crucial game? The Knight Riders in a very, very crucial position now. You have a wrap for us for tonight?
Not prepared one for today, but I will sing the previous rap. हर मैच जिताना यही मेरा रूल है, सपोर्ट में कोई कमी नहीं, अपुन फैन कूल है, भीड़ में चिल्लाते लाखों कमॉन के यार, पर मेरे चिल्लाने से कभी हारते नहीं यार, फैन में कमाल हूँ, करता धमाल हूँ, कोई मैच किया नहीं मिस, आज जीतूंगा तो दूंगा फ्लाइंग किस.
Right. This is what you sang for the DC game, is it? That was your lucky charm there.
No, for CSK game. Doesn't matter. Today I am not wearing KKR jersey because I am supporting the women's Indian team. They are playing the pink ball test match, and they have been playing splendidly well. So I'm supporting them. So I am dedicating this jersey to them, wearing this and doing this show.
They have indeed been brilliant, the women's team, in that historic day-night test match versus Australia. Of course, they scored 300. They declared after scoring 377 for 8 in their first innings. Australia women declared with 241 for 9. And now in the second innings, India are 106 for 2 with Poonam Raut batting on 16, Shafali Verma getting to a half century. What a player she has been for India already in her short career. And Smriti Mandana, after that 100 in the first innings, scored 31. So this is very India women in a very, very good position. They have an overall lead of 242 runs. This has been historic and heroic from the Indian women in that day-night test match. Well then, before I move to asking you your players for tonight, who do you think will be able to impact today's games? To all of you, Abhishek, another question for you. With Russell out, I think KKR need a good finisher. Cutting has played as a finisher before and can be tried out today. This is, of course, in relation to what we've already answered, but you want to see Knight Riders. We've spoken about Ben Cutting, we've spoken about Shakib Al Hasan, but you want to see the Knight Riders get that middle order right. In a scenario where Owen Morgan is really struggling with his form, do you see a change in batting position for Dinesh Karthik? Because he has looked good as a finisher as well, and that is what he wants to do in T20s. But do you see a forced change, a forced transition because of Owen Morgan's form?
No, I don't see Morgan getting out of the team. They would definitely back him as a captain. This is the business end of the tournament. And if you change your captain now, it will be both internal and external problem. The media will get a lot of hype for this, and that the team will not benefit from that. We have seen in the past also when Karthik stepped down from the media took this issue and KKR lost matches on a trot. So they will definitely not want to do this now. And also speaking about Morgan's form, I think Dinesh Karthik can get a promotion. He can bat at number 6. And I want Shakib to play at 5, and Morgan can be the finisher we want, since Russell is not playing at the moment. And after that, with Saudi to follow, I don't think it's a bad option. And if they don't play Shakib, they can stick to a foreigner, and they can also play Pawan Negi if they want, because he also is a left-hand spinner, so that can be a good matchup. And also one thing I want to mention, Riddhiman Shah is also be the key for SRH, because he has a lot of runs against KKR, and he has also got a century for Punjab playing in the final against KKR. So he's the man to watch out for today. I think we should be worried of the fact that Riddhiman is playing, and also Jason Roy and Kane.
Clinton, I will ask the same question that I asked Mufa. Does it, when you playing Bangalore with the likes of KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, is a sense of gratitude? Thank you, guys. I mean, Mufa says he regrets the move from there, but you're like, thank you. I mean, Chris Gayle also, even when he was in top form, but now especially these two.
Absolutely. It's like a gift from them to us. And even on social media, there's a lot of banter, and Punjab are always called the RCB light, to which I always respond saying, come on, y'all could not retain your key players, and we got them, and they've blossomed under us and not under the honor.
Right. I'm not going to stand up for Mufa, but Mufa can always come back to you at the end of the night and say, look, we qualified, we're through to the playoffs, and now it's up to you and the other teams on how they can make it through. Okay, I'll start with Mufa and Clinton on their prospective match winners. Mufa, if Bangalore were to win tonight, who would be your man of the match? Who would be the key player to stand out for you?
Probably AB de Villiers.
Okay, Clinton, for you?
KL Rahul.
Right, expecting them to come to form, expecting AB de Villiers to come to form. If he does, then there is no stopping Bangalore. Abhishek, for you, who's that Knight Rider who's going to stand out and win you that game against Sunrisers?
I think Varun Chakravarti would be a good option because he has troubled SRH in the past, so he can do that today also.
What about you, Samrud? Your man for Sunrisers?
I'm backing for a Kane Williamson special tonight, and the sun will rise again tonight.
Right then, that was a nice way to finish the show. Sun will rise again if Kane Williamson gets there, and Abhishek will take you on if the Knight Riders win. This is always the fun element. Yes.
But the thing is, the match is happening at night, so Knight Riders will win it. It's not happening in sunlight, so Sunrisers won't win it. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, but no matter how dark the sky is, the sun always rises again, right?
And in the next game, you can rise.
And,
it doesn't matter. Today, the Knight Riders are winning it. No about that.
Yeah, but today is Kane Williamson special day today.
We'll figure out when the sun rises, how dark the night is for which team at the end of the second game, of course, where we'll be joined by Clinton, Samrud, Mufa, and of course Abhishek, and I'll come back to you as well to sum up the two games tonight. As of course, the first one is as important as the second one. Royal Challengers Bangalore taking on Punjab Kings, and then the Kolkata Knight Riders taking on Sunrisers Hyderabad. Both these results will make a lot of difference in what the eventual top four will look like in 4 or 5 days from now. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Thank you for your views, comments, and questions. And thank you to all the super fans. You'll be back with me later tonight. Till then, have a safe afternoon. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy both these games. Do subscribe to Sports Today for more such gems. Thank you.